This is a safety demonstration for the metal cutoff saw. The metal cutoff saw is a great tool to use to cut things quickly when you can cut through it or slice through it in this direction. You can cut through angle iron if it's positioned like this, just like the bandsaw. If you try to position something to where it's flat and it's cutting through it, it's just not going to do well just because of the geometry of it. So you got to make sure that you are indeed cutting something straight up and down. So we can use it to cut through stuff like this. We're going to slice it one at a time, all along these lines, and that's what it can be used for. So we're cutting 1-inch pieces of metal off to be used in our welding over here. Key thing with this is that it is, because it's got such a big cutting disc on it, and the disc is so big, there's a lot of opportunity for it to break and go flying, just like our cutting disc on the grinders. If we have, if we're slicing something and we hold it incorrectly, it is going to do some damage when it breaks and shatters and goes flying everywhere. So this goes one direction. It is on a pivot, so it will do that by itself. When clamping this up, and I'll turn this on, you can see it hopefully on the screen, you can cut a bigger piece of metal down only so far. The clamp head on this is fairly large. So it's got this whole clamping mechanism right here, but the clamp threads are right here. So when you clamp something up, the metal has to be directly behind this. It can't just be barely grabbed on by the clamp head over here. The clamp metal has to be directly behind this for it to adequately squish it against the backing plate. If, like on this piece of metal, I've already cut it 3 times, so I have 3 pieces of metal off of this. I can't cut this down any smaller on this machine because I can't clamp it down safely. If I move it over to my next line, I will not be able to have any metal behind the threads. So this piece is done right now. I cannot clamp it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen it. So it's a lefty-loosey deal. I'll have to loosen it a bunch. I'm going to slip the new piece in. I'm going to bring the cutting the disc down, touch off on the where I marked it, clamp it back into place. I don't need to clamp it hard. I just need to, you can see how much I'm squeezing it here. It is tight, but I'm not putting my body weight into it. We will break this handle right off. Please don't do that. So double checking my mark here. Okay, I'm going to move the camera back so that way I don't light it on fire. When you go to cut this, it will jump when it starts. So start it in the up position, and then you are going to bring it down slowly. Don't slam it down. You will break the disc. You will chip it. That's obviously not good. I'm using two hands for this, but I'm not pushing down. If I end up pushing down, you will end up breaking something, and that's probably going to end up hurting you. But I'm using the weight of my arms to bring it down. When I cut all the way through it, the metal is going to fall. If I bring this back up, I risk it being grabbed a hold of by the spinning disc and flying away. I don't want that to happen, so I need to let it stay down while I cut, or while it comes to a full stop. full stop, so that way if the metal is just resting right here on the edge, and if you were to bring it up, it would go flying. And also, if you let it come to a full stop, so when you bring it up, you know the potential is gone. The potential for injury is gone. You won't automatically come in here while this is still spinning and start setting up the next cut and accidentally get your hand or your arm into that. It will sever tendons and cut through whatever it touches very quickly. This is the metal chop saw or the metal cutoff saw. You do need to demonstrate that you can use this correctly after you watch the safety video.